Chapter 8. The Troubles Aren't Over Yet. Bond and Barbara rekindled their relationship as Felix called in the authorities and medics about Dr. Know-It-All's body. The three left the office and Bond took Barbara under his arm.
Barbara, what made you want to stand by such a narcissistic know-it-all like Dr. Know-It-All?
He seemed to know all about you. I was with him in the beginning, even before you and I met on Crab Island. I was sent to be sure he was you. It was an accidental meeting, James.
As the three made their way through the underground hall, they were unaware that there was someone following them. Suddenly, someone's hand pressed firmly on two pieces of stone in the wall. A series of sirens then started to descend from the top of the hall. Bond, Barbara, and Felix looked behind them to see, at first the silhouette, then the figure of one of Dr. Know-It-All's henchmen emerging.
Go no further, Mr. Bond. Dr. Know-It-All truly knew all. Look and listen, the walls, they're starting to come in on you. It's practically going to cave in here. Also, Dr. Know-It-All had one more switch, just for such an occurrence. The explosives have been armed. Good riddance, Mr. Bond and friends.
A small circular hole then opened, and the henchman dropped through it, escaping the enclosing walls. Bond took Barbara by the hand. The two ran towards the, quote, sidewalk lift, with Felix right behind them. The walls drew closer and closer.
Felix, how much time do you figure we have before this first set of charges goes off?
Beats me, James.
Barbara, you have to know. He must have shared some of this knowledge with you. Where are the charges and how long do we have?
He mentioned that there was a central one, and that it could be defeated by a key, but it was in passing. I didn't catch most of it. He was saying that if this really failed, that this would stop the charges.
Just then a voice came from above them. Hey, I don't know what you three are doing down there, but it seems to me that the three of you will be crushing it in a way that I don't believe you'd like to be. Grab this! The voice threw down a rope, and he tied the other end to a nearby lamppost. Bond and his compatriots climbed up the rope at a careful yet rapid rate. The guy who found them down below grabbed each of them by the hand as they came up, and by the time Bond pulled his other foot out of the hole, the walls slammed with a micro-sized earthquake that shook the ground for a few moments. Hey pal, thanks for the help. How'd you know where to find us? Felix asked the young man. Well, I've always been curious. Many have accused my curiosity as being nosy, but how often do you see a perfectly circular hole in the middle of a street? So, I thought I might see what was going on. Glad I did. Bond went up to the young man and extended his hand.
Well, we appreciate the help. I hope you realize that you've just helped out an agent of the CIA, a lovely misguided lady, and a member of the British Secret Service. The name is Bond. James Bond.
A pleasure, Mr. Bond. If I may mimic you, my name is Saletti. Daniel Saletti. Felix then grabbed Bond by the shoulders. James, the charges!
That's right. Mr. Saletti, you didn't happen to see a type of explosive device around here, did you? Or possibly any strange, abnormal people setting up something that didn't belong?
Well, to tell you the truth, I do remember seeing some men fooling around with some kind of trash bin, it looked like. And she was with them. Saletti pointed at Barbara, and Bond then turned towards her.
Well, it seems like Dr. Know-It-All isn't the only one who knows a lot of things. Where is it, Barbara?
Bond grabbed her by the shoulders quite tightly. Barbara was starting to sweat. Felix was glaring down at her. Saletti was getting more concerned. Bond was about to raise his hand. Barbara then caved and broke away from Bond's grip and headed towards the tourist's hut, slowly. Saletti, Felix, and Bond followed her and pointed to beyond the hut. Bond walked softly around as if a cat, and soon found an oddly shaped metallic contraption. A device that was counting down, with only 30 seconds remaining.
Give me the key. You have to have it. You must know.
Felix then decided to persuade her a bit more by drawing his gun. Bond snapped towards Felix, who shrugged as if there was no other way. Wow, you guys really are who you say you are. Barbara then started to break down. She knew all that she did. Bond threw her towards Felix in Saletti's direction. As he did, the remote that Barbara was holding dropped out of her hand. Bond wondered for just a second as the clock was nearing 10 seconds. He quickly swiped the remote and noticed a small slot at the top of the explosive. He inserted the remote into the slot and heard a click. He twisted the remote inside the slot to the right, and then the clock stopped, conveniently at 7 seconds. Felix looked at his watch and then back at Bond. James, something's amiss. I'll be the first to admit that you're quick on your feet with your thinking, but that clock should have read 5 seconds, not 7. I concur. That clock stopped at 7 seconds deliberately. Bond raised an eyebrow to the wondering of why it stopped at such a peculiar time. But then he looked at the clock closer. He started curling his fingers up and down, motioning to Felix to come to his side. Felix did, and then Bond pointed at the clock. Upon closer examination, the clock was a digital one reading 007. Wow, he really did know a lot about you, Felix said.
Makes me wonder how much he really did know about my past, present, and future.
Bond then got up and walked over to Saletti.
Know-it-all said something about never working alone again. I always have help, thanks to Felix, but sometimes it's not your jurisdiction. In other instances, there have been some branches of military from some country. Other times, it's been just the allies I've made along the way. But how is it that you, Mr. Saletti, would show up at the exact moment we need assistance?
Just lucky, I guess.
Perhaps we should discuss this more.
Bond extended his hand to shake Saletti's hand. Saletti did the same with Felix's and Barbara's.